Welcome back to a whole nother episode of People Believe That?
Eh?
I am Old Mixhead.
It's your boy Chief.
Today's topic of discussion, fame and fortune. Being famous and being rich. Now,
Being rich and being famous.
what?
Being rich and being famous?
No, being famous and being rich.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, we're going to be speaking from an outside perspective because we are not famous and we are not rich.
Nor are we rich.
So this is coming from just the, like watching celebrities and watching all these people on TV and seeing the lives they live. And then you watch the old TV shows like Behind the Music and things that they go through behind the scenes that aren't heavily pushed on TV that a lot of people ignore or act like doesn't exist at all.
No, I do have friends that have won Grammys and stellar awards, and I have been around celebrities in my musical career days, doing promotion for Def Jam, and Sony, and all that with my boy DJ Nappy. So I got to see a little bit of how they are behind the scenes. You know, just a little bit. Not like I wasn't like on tour with these guys or nothing, but
right. Nah, so we can definitely go from a bird's eye point of view, third person perspective. The first thing I'm going to talk about is why do we feel that fame and fortune is so heavily sought out by so many people when in the past it's known to do great things for people, but it's also known to bring them to basically to death, bring them to an end.
And that seems to be the thing now too, though. Like everybody who deals with fortune and fame, at some point meet their demise inside that same industry.
What do you think? Do you think it's better to be famous, or you think it's better to be rich?
Can you be one without the other?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know you can be famous without being rich.
And you can be rich without being famous.
That's true too, but
like, who's the top 5 most wealthiest people in the world?
Rockefeller.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I plead the fifth.
Yeah, exactly.
I plead the fifth.
I would much rather.
When I start naming off things, a hole's going to come through that wall.
I'd much rather be rich than be famous. I can do without the fame. I think that's where musicians tend to get it backwards, or in the beginning, they're more famous than they are rich. And who was it? It was Left Eye from TLC who explained the math behind why people or musicians have these number one hits, but they're still broke.
Yeah, these record deals are horrible, bro.
Yeah, they're called slave contracts, but not slave in the term of, slavery like in American history. More like they're working for pennies.
Yeah, basically.
They're generating all this money for pennies. A
pretty common one is you get 10, 15 cents per.
Not even that. You get a fraction of a penny.
No, you get like 10, 15 cents per album. Like, per album. Right.
Yeah, I think it's on a point system, a 360.
That is pennies because like they selling them for $15, $10, $15, and you only getting 10, 15 cents for each one. Yeah, like you have to sell 1 million just to make 100,000.
And then on top of that, once you get your payout, then you have to pay for the producers. You got to pay for studio time. Right. You got to pay for all that stuff. Has to go back into the machine that made it.
That's what the other 85 or 95. Or 85% is. Yeah,
look at this case of Toni Braxton back when she was really making some headway in the music industry. She went broke or bankrupt. She went bankrupt, I think twice, 2 or 3 times actually, because every appearance that she was making with her dress and the limousine and all that stuff, she was paying for all that stuff. She didn't know it, but she was paying for it because the record label would front the money. And
right, but you have to pay the money back.
That's what I'm saying. It comes out of your cut.
Right, they give you an advance so that you can look a certain way, so you can look apart. And with that money, if you don't make it back in your sales, then they take it. Then you owe it, basically.
Yeah, and that's what happened to TLC. They had a biopic on VH1 a couple years back. It was actually pretty decent. There's some stuff I didn't like about it, but there's overall it was pretty decent film.
What didn't you like about it?
It didn't really have to do with what we're talking about, but I didn't like how Chili was just head over heels in love with her producer at the time. And she wanted him, and she always went, and then she got pregnant, she had a kid. And then when the dude was like, all right, look, I only want you, I only want to be, and she was fast. Like, she was, like, that movie pointed out that she was fast. And
no, Chili was your favorite, right?
Chili was my favorite.
That's why you didn't like that.
No. I got over her years ago, like long time ago. I was done with her
like at least 3 months ago.
So when, according to the movie, I don't know what really happened, but according to the movie, the guy came back and was like, look, you know, you're the mother of my kid. I want to be with you and this and that. When she finally can have him, she rejects him. Now, it's just me and my kid. We're going to make it all that stuff. I'm like, what? Like, what? You know, it was one of those feelings. But another thing I didn't like is how with Lisa, who was Lil Mama, she portrayed Lisa Left Eye. She did a pretty good job. Like, she did great.
I never saw it.
Yeah, but the way the movie portrayed it was she justified her burning down her boyfriend's house because she felt like she wanted to be heard. Like, oh, there's so many people, they listening, but nobody's hearing me. So, and her psychiatrist, wherever she was at, was like, so you burned down this house so people can hear you or they can recognize you? So I just wanted to be heard. Like, so you burned down a dude's house? Like, what the,
Yeah,
like, that's your
wrong for that.
justification? Like, that's just the dumbest.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were looking for empowerment with that, but that was the dumbest.
It does
example.
kind of have something to do with what we're talking about, because that's fortune and fame, right?
Right. If she was broke, I'm sure she wouldn't have done that.
But she was.
Or maybe she would have.
I mean, maybe because you get people all the time doing these thin line between love and hate things where they cutting up J's and cutting up clothes and all that type of stuff, and
Yeah, it's the
busting out car windows and keying cars. It goes both ways too.
What do you believe is the ultimate goal for the majority, not every individual person, but the goal of reaching fortune, to being wealthy?
I think it just depends on the individual.
Well, I'm just saying in general, not like
What
do you think is the ultimate reason why people want to get as much money as possible?
a lot of times it has to do with greed. Some people want to get fortune so that they can help other people, or they can push whatever agenda it is that they believe in, whatever belief system that they have. They want money so they can help, push that along, whether it's just something simple like, I just want my family to be taken care of, or something like, I want my gang to come up. Just whatever, there's just a million different reasons. But as far as Hollywood goes, it's got to be greed and, something on those lines.
I think it's in general, I think it's a attempt to achieve ultimate freedom. I think it's, imagine having right now $500 million, right? Just $500 million sitting in your bank, already paid on the taxes. Imagine what you could do with $500 million. If you had $10 million from that $5 million, you'd still have $490 million left. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think it's just an ultimate freedom of you can do, legally, technically, quote unquote, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, as much as you want.
Right.
So I think it's just the ultimate freedom, not the fear of being in poverty or the fear of not being able to do something.
Would you want to have that much money?
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't have to do anything ever.
Yeah,
I don't have to work for anybody.
I feel like if you just came up on that type of money, that you'd have to answer to somebody.
Well, let's say I win the
type
lottery.
of people that you'd have to answer to are not like your.
See, that's why when we talk about like lottery and stuff, like the Mega Millions right now in Texas, I think is up to like 380 mil or 285 million or something like that. I always said that if I ever won the lottery, you would not hear from me for about 6 months. Because
6 months?
Yeah, I would be in hiding.
Well, I would go in hiding until, well, it depends on what day it is, because as soon as I realized I won, I would go to Austin.
Yeah, well, yeah, cash it in. But,
right. No, I'd go to Austin and just get a room, and I'd call a couple of my homeboys to come with me with bodyguards. Or maybe tell my boss to get some bodyguards for my company.
Yeah, I would be completely secretive about it. I would be like, y'all seen him? Nah, I haven't heard from him in weeks. I wonder what happened. You go to my house, everything's cleared out.
Like, everything would still be there.
Well, yeah, well, not because of me. You know, everything would be like eviction notices posted on the door. I'm not even there. Family's not
6
there.
months, yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely be afraid in the beginning, because not because I think, you know, my family's a bunch of leeches or nothing, but it's because I think I would be getting attacked from all angles. Hey man, my cousin needs a heart transplant, a triple, quadruple bypass surgery. And if I say no, I would feel bad. But at the same time, who knows if that person's telling the truth, and why are they coming to me with this stuff? But you have the opportunity to do it, and it's not going to hurt you in the bank.
What would you do with the money?
Oh, I don't know. I will, you know, I do the basic stuff.
Would you use it to become famous?
No,
to a certain
absolutely
extent.
No, I would if I invested in anything.
So you tell me you want to do like any more production, podcast?
No. That's what I'm saying. Like
you do it on such a bigger level, you would have to be famous.
No. I don't want to be famous. I would put money into a business to produce and to all that stuff, but I wouldn't be the headline name.
But you would if it became successful.
No, I mean, no, I would. But people, well, who's the
like
president? Who's the CEO of Universal Studios? Not the theme park, but you know, the Universal.
Russell Simmons. I don't know.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'd rather be rich than known. You know what I mean? I'd rather be rich and wealthy than famous. Because when people know who you are, and now you do your social media, and then you get your appearances on this and appearances on that. Like, screw all that. I don't want any of that. Just give me the money. Like, I don't need my name on a magazine or
So you wouldn't do any more skits or anything?
Probably not. Like, if I felt like, because think of it, I enjoy doing that stuff, but if there's no money attached to it, it just becomes a hobby at that point.
But there never was any money attached to it.
I mean, there's never in the beginning. Like, I'll jump to this, to that in order to find out what sticks, right? And if I enjoy it, then it's just a win-win. But if I don't enjoy it, then I'm just doing it for the money, therefore I don't love it. And if money comes in, then it'll just be a job, right? So if I already have the money, everything I would be doing for fun. And at that point, I don't need to do it. I can create something on a bigger scale, and I can do it, you know, I can just own it.
That's crazy.
Get all the money to come in.
I would have thought for sure you would have been like, I'm going to use some of the money so I can...
No, I would definitely be doing something to bring some income.
Well, not even about the income, but just to being that you don't have to worry about income.
Well, I don't want to do anything half, you know.
Well, you wouldn't have to. That's what I'm saying. You have $500 million.
Right, but that could all go away somehow.
I'm not saying spend it on a single production. I'm saying you spend, you know, a couple thousand on some equipment or something, you know. And
yeah, but you know me. Like if I'm spending like, you know, $500,000 on a production studio, I better be generating some money to be put back into it. Right. That's just how I am. You know, I don't want to buy.
You'd be able to rent out a place if you wanted to. Like you can have your own production studio and be able to rent it out to people. And while you still have access to it.
It would have to be an investment. It wouldn't just be throw all this money down and then now it's just sitting there.
Have a house studio.
Right. I would have to develop a way to allow money to come back in.
Right.
Because $500 million can go. I mean, it's hard to spend that much money, but if I get,
I can spend it in a day.
it's actually pretty hard.
That's not hard to spend $500 million.
Well, you have to. If you buy something that's worth $500 million, then yeah, you can spend it in a day. But if you were to get down to what you need, food, house, cars, that's nothing. Like if you could buy $125,000 on the car, then wouldn't hurt you at all in the least bit.
But I want $499 million car.
Travel the DeLorean, go back in time.
Yeah, no, I don't care about cars and all that. Like, I'm not big on. See, that's the thing.
If you had $500 million, you would buy some.
I would buy some cool type things, but they would be like.
They'd be practical.
They'd be practical for like
buy a snowplow.
Yeah, for when hell freezes over, you're gonna be able to get out of there.
Go buy a fire truck. It's practical because the house catches
Just
on
in case
fire.
the house catches on fire.
Built a fire department next to next to my land.
I got a fire department on my land. I got a police department.
Police department, small security system.
Small security system. I got a small militia underground, of course. You can't see them.
I got locals. We got a barracks for them and everything.
Yeah, man. Underground tunnels to all the houses.
See, I try to be honest. When people ask me if I had however much millions of dollars, I mean, look, I would buy a couple cars just because I would buy them and then I sell them and then I buy more and then I sell those and I buy more just because I want to get a taste of every aspect of whatever.
What they say when you get a large sum of money, you're supposed to stay away from things that depreciate in value. I don't know the term for it. I heard.
Well, that's fun money I'm talking about. Like, yeah, you definitely. I mean, you buy a house for like, say, $4 million. Automatically, it's worth less after you buy it. I mean, but you have to have a house. You know what I mean? That the house and the cars and the items and whatever. That's all fun money.
Right.
Your real money is what you invest in building, like businesses and things like that.
You know what I would do? Like, first, I would take my 10%. I'd take 10% out and give it to my church that I go to.
Here we go.
Off top.
Here we go.
I would.
You would give $50 million to your church.
No, I'd probably be giving more than that, to be quite honest with you. But that would be the official. But I would definitely probably give more. You know what I'm saying?
And who would you hire to oversee what they do with that $50 million? I'm not saying your church.
No, I don't.
Misappropriate funds.
No. I would see. I would make sure that we were in position to where they got lawyers and they got accountants and stuff like that. So you can't just. I can't just go in there and give money to the pastor and be like, "Here's money. Do what you want with it." No, you can't.
So that's a donation.
Nah, but it's not how it works though. It has to follow state regulations, meaning that they have to have a committee. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they have to be a 501c.
501c and all that. They have to have a committee. People have to say, they have to know how much money it is. The people, listen, hold on. I don't know if you know this or not, but people in the church have a right to go up to the pastor and say, "Hey, what is this money? Where's my money going to that I'm giving you?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where does the money go to?
Yeah.
So if your pastor can't provide that information, then there's probably some fraudulent stuff going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I give money to my pastor, my church or whatnot, like at any time I can go ask, where's this money going? And at the end of the year, they have to give you your money, how much you've given.
They're supposed to.
They have to.
But
legally.
But if they can't, then they can't. Then you can sue them and do all that legal stuff. But still
it's not about
gone.
whether they can. It's about whether they don't, because they can. If you can take the money, then you can write down that you took some money. Every church has to do this.
Well, I think the whole 501c, that's only dealing with charities.
But that's what church falls underneath. That's when
Is it?
When you get a church, you have to go underneath the 501c.
Oh, but then
and if you don't have one, then you have to go underneath another church who has one and be sponsored.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's the terminology, sponsor. I'm not sure if that's a term or not, but that's what you have to do.
Oh.
But either way, you have to be accounted for. You can't just run a church out of your basement and not pay taxes or none of that stuff. You have to, everything.
Koresh did it.
Huh?
Was it David Koresh? John Koresh, whatever his name was.
Yeah, and he ended in such a well fashion.
Yeah, he's fine.
But that's what I would do. That I would also.
Would you nominate yourself for Deacon of the Month?
No.
Like, who's going to be Deacon?
laying low, man.
I'm just saying, I donated $50 million. I think I should be in the race.
I think I should get a picture up on the wall.
I think my name should be there somewhere.
I think I should get my little name on a brick on the side of the building or something.
Well, let's keep Jesus up there on the cross, but put me in there somewhere.
No, man, it don't work like that. No, but I would do a lot of stuff like that, man. But I'm not gonna lie, I would still have some fun. You know,
you have to.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's pointless.
I'm not talking about like Las Vegas, benders and stuff type fun.
We build our own New Vegas here.
No, I'm not talking about none of that type of stuff. I'm just talking about
called New Vegas.
You know, like you said,
found Vegas, not Las Vegas.
No,
found
it's
Vegas.
Called My Vegas. No, but it'd be dope though, man. But I don't know, man. I don't think that people just get that type of money. I don't know. I'm not going to get into conspiracies on that, but I will say that $500 million, if not invested wisely, can be blown so easy. Like,
Yeah.
real easy. Like, you ever seen the movie?
But it'll
Brewster's
still take
Million?
time, though.
You
Well,
said-
he had 1 million. He had to
Yeah.
spend 1 million in one day, but this is back in the 70s. I think that was in
like
the 70s.
$1 million was like equal to like what, 10 million back then,
Right.
or 100 million or something,
Something like that,
But
yeah.
even then, that's not hard to.
But he couldn't do it, though. The
all
thing
you
is,
do is buy a couple houses.
Actually, I think Shaq said he spent 10 million in one day.
Yeah, he gave it away to somebody, I think.
No. He bought a car for him, and he came home and his dad saw it, and his dad said something like, "Hey, that's a nice car." So he went out and bought another one for his dad, and then he spent some. I don't know exactly what he did, but he said he spent like 10 million in one day. That's when his accountant came looking for him, showing him he was like in debt, like 200,000 or something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Have you
point
seen those
on,
stories about athletes who and then celebrities?
Oh
who
yeah,
go broke.
absolutely. 'Cause that's all the people that are on the old show, Cribs, MTV Cribs.
Yeah.
Because they have all this elegant, exotic houses and stuff, and they only have like one hit record.
Mike Tyson.
Well, but he went up, he went back and forth, up and down, in and out.
He's still kind of straddling the fence.
Yeah.
I think he's wealthy. I don't think he's just flat out like rich, like how he used to be.
I don't think he wants to be. Actually, I know he doesn't want to be. Jamie Foxx is doing the biopic of Mike Tyson. He's going to be Mike Tyson in an upcoming movie.
No, I think Mike Tyson just doesn't want to be that famous again.
Well, he doesn't want to be that. He doesn't want to be. I don't think he wants to be famous, and I don't think he wants to be rich. And I say that because when Jamie Foxx was on, I think Ellen, he shared a story about when he was talking to Mike Tyson, and he said he's happy now. And he said, "Well, what's making you happy?" He said, "Because I'm not rich anymore." He said, "When you're rich, everybody's lying to you, and everybody wants what you have. But when you're not rich, people leave you alone."
Well, that's the thing. Now we're talking about being rich. You can't be a rich celebrity and not be famous. You could be a rich business owner and not be famous.
I don't think that's true. Well, a rich celebrity is different than saying
that's what I'm saying.
rich person.
Because a celebrity, because like ultimately Mike Tyson's a celebrity.
Yes, but he was famous before he was rich, and then he became rich, and then he lost his money, but he's still famous because of what he did. But I'm just saying, like if again, we can't name just off the top of our head because they're celebrities and they're this and that, the top 5 richest people in the world right now. Because most of them are probably not even American.
I'm finna look it up.
All right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to look it up.
Right.
Like, because the information is out there. I'm just saying, I would much rather be rich, a rich shadow, than a somewhat rich, celebrity in America. Because that's pointless to me. I don't want my face out there. I don't want my information out there. I don't want my business out there. Not my business, but I don't want my personal business out there for people just to, I wouldn't be on Twitter. I wouldn't be on Instagram or Facebook or none of those social things. I'd keep myself completely out of the public eye.
Right.
And I'll just allow the money to create more money. That's what Steve Harvey calls the horizontal money.
Yeah.
Vertical money and horizontal money.
Yeah. So how many do you want me to name off?
How many are there?
Oh, I got a lot.
Just the top 5.
Let's do the top 5, okay. All right, number 1.
What website is that?
This is usatoday.com.
Oh, well, okay.
Are they all right? Should I do like a time?
Well, as long as we say where the source came from, people can go and look it up and see if it's credible.
Okay, usatoday.com. Number 1, Jeff Bezos, net worth $112 billion. You know who that is?
Ooh, no idea.
That is the CEO of Amazon.
Oh my God. Amazon is less than, 20 years old?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Number 2, Bill Gates, $90 billion.
Yep.
Microsoft co-founder.
All right.
Number 3, Warren Buffett.
Yep.
Net worth $84 billion.
He's like a stock guy, right?
He's one of the most successful investors. He's the chairman
yeah.
of Berkshire Hathaway, which owns major companies like Dairy Queen, Duracell, etc., etc.
Those are those sleeper companies that nobody thinks about.
Number 4, Bernard Arnault and family. Net worth $72 billion. He oversees a luxury goods empire as the chairman and CEO of LVMH.
Never heard of it.
Moet, Hennessy, Louis Vuitton.
Okay, there we go.
The conglomerate encompasses 70 high-end brands, including Hennessy, Sephora, and Bulgari, which is a type of cologne I actually use.
And who's number 5?
Number 5 is Mark Zuckerberg, net worth
Really?
$71 billion. The 33-year-old Facebook CEO is the youngest billionaire
Is
on
this
this
is this in
list.
the world or is this in America? That can't be in the world because we got like sheiks over there in what's that place over there? That
Well,
real rich place.
Let's check this source. This is from the time.com, the richest people in the world.
Yeah, because those are all Americans. Ain't no way Americans are the only richest people in the world, or maybe they are. I don't know. According to USA Today.
I think the richest people in the world pick people to be the richest people in public.
And we have no idea who those people are.
Exactly.
Perfect. Hey, that's what I'm saying. They're not on Twitter that we know of. Miley Cyrus is like the top rich.
Here's the list on timeinc.net.
Time Inc.
Just the time.
They incorporated time. That's how rich they are. They made a business out of time.
Out of time. The one thing you can't get back.
Unless you got the money.
Yeah. Who is the richest woman in 2017? French heiress Lillian Bettencourt is the richest woman in the world and ranks among the world's top 20 richest overall with a $39.5 billion net worth. And the list of the 10 richest people in the world. 1, Bill Gates, net worth $87.8 billion, according to this timeinc.net.
What date is that? Because we just heard the Amazon guy had 112 billion.
Right, hold on.
Yeah, see, these are, I mean.
This was 2017, so it might be.
Well, okay, that's recent enough.
But number 2, they said it was Amancio Ortega, a Spanish self-made billionaire best known for founding Inditex fashion group, which includes Zara clothing. The richest man in Europe, Ortega co-founded Inditex in 1975, and he is worth, he's 81 years old.
81?
81. And he's worth $85.8 billion. And this is when Jeff Bezos was number 3, so they have him in number 3. And then Warren Buffett, number 2. After that, their number 5 is somebody named Carlos Slim Ilu, who's a Mexican business tycoon, is the richest person in Mexico, and owns more than 200 companies in industries ranging from bank to retail to telecommunications.
See, and none of these people, say for like Zuckerberg or Buffett, not even Warren Buffett, none of these people are celebrities. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. I would much rather be rich than be famous.
Yeah.
Because with fame comes all the problems. You know, when people see your face, you're out there, you're in the public eye. When you're just behind the scenes and you're making the money, like for instance, who is a producer of, I don't know, Avatar?
Jason Franklin. Final answer.
Nobody knows, right?
No.
And nobody understands that the producer is the highest on the chain. Well, I mean, the studio head and all that stuff like that. But in terms of the project itself, the producer is the head of everything. The director is second in command, and then you got everybody that goes under them. But the producers are the ones who get the award when it comes into Best Picture.
Right.
Not a lot of people know that. You know, they think it's the actor. Like the actors are just actors.
Right. They're the ones that get the most face time, so they come off as if they're the main deal. But you know, that's funny because I've always, whenever I was doing music or working with a studio or a record label, I always wanted to be behind the scenes with it.
Right.
Like the only time I ever really wanted to get in front of the camera was just to help promote.
Yeah.
So that I didn't have to do that anymore. You know, like I want to be.
That should be the ultimate goal.
Yeah, the ultimate goal is to be at the studio. That's my goal, is to get paid being at the studio.
Yeah.
Like I don't necessarily. It's like being in a studio is kind of like being in a kitchen. You know, like I don't want to be the server. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be in the front. I don't want to be on the billboard. I just want the food to be good and put it out there. You know, I just want to be in the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, are you not a fan, but you know Dame Dash, right? He used to be partners with Jay-Z for Rockefeller Records.
Dame Dash?
Dame Dash.
Yeah. Did you say Dave at first?
No, I said Dame.
Oh, I thought you said Dave. I was like, I don't know.
Is it Damon Dash or just Dame Dash?
Damon?
Is it Damon Dash?
Damon.
Well, whatever. He when him and Jay-Z were still owning Rockefeller, I don't know if he owned it or they were co-owners, whatever the situation was. He said that all this when he did that big tour with Def Jam and Rough Riders and all the remember that big tour they had?
Right.
I watched they had a documentary on it, like they were following the tour.
Right.
And he was having this meeting with all his people. And he was like, all this concert stuff, all the performances we're doing right now, this should be the hard part. You know, this should be setting us up for where we're going to be in 10 years. This should not be our ultimate goal to perform. Right. And like, that's that mentality a lot of people should have when they go into any business. Like everything you're doing now, you should not feel like you've arrived when you're performing or when you're doing the you know, whatever it is you're doing. This should be the beginning of your empire, right? Mm-hmm. Laying down the groundwork for what you're going to be doing in 10 years. That's why the most successful rappers, the old ones now, like Jay-Z, Ludacris, and all these rappers of yesteryear, they don't have to rap anymore because they use the rapping as an opportunity to bring in the money, and then they can put in T.I. They use that money to push out to other opportunities like real estate, other businesses, and Shaquille O'Neal owns, I think, a bunch of car dealerships or something like that, or he's able to use that money, or he has a restaurant chain somewhere, or he bought a restaurant chain or something like that.
There's a bunch of shoes at Walmart.
For like $15. I actually bought some Shaqs once.
Get some.
I actually bought some Shaqs at a Payless once. I thought I was the stuff.
Yeah.
So man, I got my new Shaq attacks. Like, man, watch out.
Got my new Kazams. Kazam 11s.
I didn't realize that his shoes are so unpopular and such a failure of a shoe. I don't want to say failure of a shoe. I'll take that back. But
no,
you know what I mean? They're worth the Jordans.
I'll give those shoes props because there were a lot of families who wanted a shoe that were semi-stylish.
At an affordable
with somebody
price.
That was popular.
At an affordable price.
At an affordable price because, you know, the economy, right?
I mean, I look at it like this. Maybe that shoe only costs $4 to make. And he
Jordan shoes probably only cost $4.
Right, make. But I'm saying like he didn't. Yeah. But you know, if they only cost $4 and you pay $20 for them, that you're still pulling in profit. So profit's profit, you know. So that's a smart move.
Let me ask you this: what about the performers who aren't necessarily concerned with being mainstream, but being that they're performers, they still have to perform in front of people.
Yeah.
So there's still a level of wanting to be seen. However, there are some of people like that don't necessarily care about the money end of it. For instance,
I think
we have a family friend, Kevin Gant.
Okay.
I'm almost positive that he's been approached.
Oh yeah.
By, you know, record labels or whatever.
Dad.
You know. Entrepreneurs.
I want to change everything about you.
So like what and I don't, you know, I don't know like exactly what the answer is, but from what I'm thinking it is that he doesn't want to be, you know, tied into a box of having to perform a certain way and having to do things a certain type of way. Now, where does that play when we talk about being rich and being famous? Because he does have a level of fame.
Right.
However, he's not like rich. Like, maybe, I mean, he could be.
Yeah, he might.
Like, he might be like
a couple million stashed away.
Probably, you know, who knows?
But
like, he's that dope where he definitely could have.
I look at it like this. I think that all comes down to everybody's definition of success. Success to some people are I got all this money and I can do whatever I want. Success to others might just be I can eat a sandwich, right? I can pay for my rent, you know, at this apartment. Like that's success to some people, and they don't want to go above a certain tier or a certain tax bracket. You know what I mean? Anybody can have their own definition of what success is. Right. Like to me, if I can take care of my family, I don't have to have millions of dollars to do that, right? If I'm middle class for the rest of my life, that's fine as long as I can take care of everybody in my family. If more money comes, I'm not going to turn it down, you know, but I think, I've never spoken with Kevin about it. I never had a conversation with him. I know I've heard his music obviously, but I think with him from an outside perspective, I think with him, his definition of success is different from the general definition of it. I think if he can create music and people will care to hear it, I think that is his definition of success.
And you know what? And that kind of like made me think about.
And he can take care of himself financially, obviously.
Right, obviously. Right. But I think he works. Like the movie I watched, by I think they call the Duplantis brothers or something like that. Duplantis brothers or something like that. They did a movie called Kevin, and in the movie, like I think he works for like, don't quote me on this, but like a delivery company. Let's put it like that. I'm not gonna say any name, but like I think he works for a delivery company. You know what I'm saying? Mail delivery or whatever. But me, like, I don't believe in loving this world or like the things that are in it. So whether I was rich or I was famous, I would use both platforms for the same thing, for the same purpose. Like right now, I'm not rich or famous, but I still carry myself like I could be because the platform that I have. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. Let me explain. I believe that when people talk about what's power, you know, like what's the most powerful thing in the world, some people will say it's, you know, PUSSY. Some people will say it's money. Some people will say it's guns. Some people will say it's fear. You know, everybody.
Power, right?
Yeah, right. I believe power is influence. Like, the more influence a person has, the more powerful they are. Mm-hmm. Now, by what means that they have influence depends on the person, but whoever has the most of it is going to be the most influential. So if somebody has somebody who's influential can get people behind them to follow their cause or whatever, you know. So I'm trying to constantly renew my mind and not really just be conformed to like what people are saying is, you know what I'm saying, is successful. Like you're saying with Kevin, like I believe also that he believes his message is, you know what I'm saying? Right. And people hearing his message is how he gets his reward or whatnot.
Yeah. But again, I think that goes back to what I was saying. They would rather be, well, it probably doesn't, but people would rather be successful, their definition of successful rather than famous. You know, I don't think Kevin cares to be famous. He loves what he does with his music. And if there's people that are willing to hear it, then he'll do it till the day he dies, even if he doesn't receive as much money as like, you know, Miley Cyrus or Ariana Grande, whatever the hell her name was. So, now let's talk about celebrities. Not like to talk about them, but I mean, let's bring it up. Let's say there's a 7-year-old or 17-year-old kid right now who wants to make music, but they got problems, maybe drug problems, criminal problems, you know, run-ins with the law, things like that. Mm-hmm. Then they make it successfully, or they make it into the music industry, we'll say.
Right.
And money starts pouring in. Do you think, I'll ask you and I'll say what I think. Do you think that money will change that person for the worst or for the better? Or do you think that the money will only bring out who they are on the inside?
It will bring out who they're not as well, because there's a certain level of wisdom you have to have when dealing with things like, especially things like that, like money. You got to constantly have like this renewal in your mind, and you have to be able to like discern what's good and what's not good. You know what I'm saying? Right. And a lot of this doesn't happen until you have experience. And it's through these experiences that we learn and we understand what's going on. But as a kid, you give a kid $1 million, like if you give a 17-year-old $1 million, they're going to get things that are attractive to a 17-year-old. You give a 4-year-old or a 7-year-old $1 million, they're going to Toys R Us and buying $1 million worth of crap.
Well, they can buy everything in Toys R Us because they're going out of business.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, regardless, you know, so they're going to be buying up a bunch of nothing, you know. Right. They're not going to invest. Now, if they're smart, they find someone to help them with it, but It doesn't come until you later on in life.
Right.
Now, there's the problem nowadays. One of the problems nowadays is that the people that are becoming rich are the ones that have become internet famous.
Right.
And it doesn't take for you to go to a casting director or go to an audition, go wait in line, go get headshot. It doesn't take all the discipline it used to.
Right.
Now
the hard work
to build up to it. It's just overnight.
Right.
Like literally overnight. Like before they would say it was overnight because you go do an audition today and now you're famous in a month or two.
Yeah.
Now it is you upload a video today, it's viral tomorrow, you're on Ellen the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then now people are booking you to do shows.
Yeah.
And then all you gotta do is just keep uploading.
Do you remember the Backpack Kid?
Yeah.
He has this weird dance, and
yeah, I've seen
it. It's pretty weird, but he's known as he's the Backpack Kid, right?
Right.
So he went and talked to Gary Vaynerchuk. You ever heard of him?
He's an agent?
He's more of a
talent scout or something like that?
No, he's like he's not an investor, but he's real successful in I think promotions, or he has a wine company, but he does like all this digital media promotion. I think he's a promoter,
like a mogul or something.
Something like that, right? He has a YouTube channel. He's really good. He's real upfront and blunt with everything he says, and he seems absolutely genuine in what he says. But he had a meeting with the Backpack Kid, and he told him the Backpack is like 17. So he told he said, "So what are you working on as far as deals with backpack companies?" So, well, I haven't really thought about that. He said, "Look, this is what you do. Call 10 backpack companies. Ask them what they're offering in order for you to be the spokesperson or the whatever, right? The face of their company.
Right.
They're the Backpack Kid, right? Makes sense.
Right.
Go to one, call them, ask them what they're offering. Hang up, call another one, ask them what they're offering. Call another one." So do that like 10 times at 10 different companies. Use that opportunity to build money, and then once that's done, call the other 9 to see what they want, right? And I'm like, stuff like that, like, it's not a bad thing to get famous. I think it's a bad thing to be famous for one thing and then expect to coast off of that for the rest of your life. You know, use that opportunity to build yourself financially. And from that, then you have the whole world as far as options.
Well, yeah, you definitely gotta have to have a plan.
You can't. But he's 17, so he even said, "Look, I'm 17. I don't know anything about investments and things like that." He said, "Look, money doesn't care how old you are. Right. If you want it, you put in the work to get it, and then put in the work to keep it, and then put in the work to make more."
Yeah.
I
definitely think, like you're saying with that whole thing, like he didn't have the experience. He didn't have the knowledge. He didn't have the wisdom.
I think his mom is his manager.
Right. And who knows what she knows and what she doesn't know.
Right.
Whatever she did worked for him to continue to be famous and to be in the spotlight. However, what their budget looks like, who's to say? We don't know one way or the other, right?
Right.
But I will say that regardless whether you get internet famous or not, or we've spoken about this before about the military, people who go in the military spend their time in, they get out and don't really have nothing to show for it. Like, whatever you do, if you have an opportunity, you have to use it in a way to where it will benefit your future.
Right.
Like you said, Stevie Harvey made a comment about something called horizontal money, meaning money that doesn't just come and go. It comes and it continuously comes in.
No. Horizontal and vertical money are different, because vertical money is the money that you make while you're up and you're walking around, you're working. You have to actually go do something in order to make the money or to get the money to come in. Horizontal money is the goal. Horizontal money is the money you make while you're asleep. Horizontal, you're laying
That's what
down.
I mean. Like, the money comes in on its own.
Right.
Like waves. It just, like, if you're looking at a horizon,
you don't have to literally do anything, but you're still making money.
Because you've already done.
Right.
Like, for instance, like me, I'm somewhat of an amazing war hero, as my brother likes to call it. I just say I served my time, but he calls me a war hero.
I don't think I've ever said that.
Well, I got a lot of brothers. Could be anybody.
I didn't say I was talking about you.
No, so I served my time and I got injured. Now I receive pay for the rest of my life because of what I did there. A lot of people don't like that though either. But regardless, I got it set up to where I got horizontal money.
Right.
At least until they do another government shutdown.
Yeah.
Then I'm screwed.
Yeah.
But now I'm working on earning my certifications in the new job venture I've taken on, which is in security, private personal protection, and bodyguard stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to find other avenues as well now that I have the knowledge, but I'm 35 already.
Right.
You know, a lot of this stuff we should have been taught when we were younger, but we didn't have the people, we didn't have the right amount of information at the time.
Yeah, I mean, we did get some information, but it was by inexperienced people that, you know, you can take the word or not. Who knows if what they're saying is, you know, you have your basic information that we got from like family members and stuff, but you know, we can only trust them so far because they've never been in that position.
But that's why I teach my kids to be
receptive.
No, just to be to use discernment and to try to test the spirit and test to see what it is. Like whenever someone's telling you something, what place is it coming from?
Right.
You know, that's the whole moral compass talk again. Like, where does it come from? Like, we didn't know because we didn't know what to look for, what not to look for. We just had to just trust them. And if we didn't trust them, we just didn't listen to it, which is bad because you can still get information from somebody that's, you know, like weird or whatever or wrong.
Right.
But you just
this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do.
Don't pay taxes ever.
Ever.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
Don't worry about that.
That's how they get you.
That's your money. The government wasn't there. All right. So, final word: would you rather be rich or famous?
Would I rather be rich or famous? I would. I don't know. Pass.
You can't pass. You're the only one here.
Pass. Next question.
I'm passing on to the next guy.
Yes.
There's no next guy here.
7. Okay. Ask me again.
Would you rather be rich or famous?
Yes, please.
No, what? No. That's not how any of this works.
No, but I think I'd rather be.
Why would you want to be famous? How is that even?
I'd rather be famous.
I'd hate to be famous.
I'd rather be famous, man.
That's how they get you. You're famous.
Because you know why? Because you know, being rich, like
that's a vanity thing.
Power is influence, man. Like money's vanity too, bro. Because like just how you look at it, but like ultimately, you can be like Martin Luther King was famous. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't trying to be, but he was. But he wasn't rich. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So it's influence, man. Like if it's about power, if that's what ultimately what we're talking about, like which one do you feel?
No, just rich or famous.
Well, I mean, rich or famous, but like when you have to choose one, you have to choose one that empowers you the most. You know what I'm saying? And being influential is what I believe to be power. You know what I'm saying?
I'd rather be rich.
Whether good or bad, it all depends on that person. But
I'd rather be that silent partner that nobody knows about that investing in Google. Now it's like living on a mountain somewhere and nobody knows they exist. I think that is the ultimate.
But what good
success.
are you then? You're just gonna live out there until you die and just what?
No, you don't have to live there. I'm just saying, like that's one of your homes. You go there from time to time. Whenever you want to get away, you go to HEB.
A couple years at a time.
Mingle with the little people.
Mingle with
your subjects.
Mingle with the peasants in the local village.
You just walk up to grandma and be like, I could buy you. And she's like, what? And you walk away. She has no idea who she was talking to.
Right.
One of the richest people in the world.
Right.
I'd much rather be rich than famous. Forget the fame. Screw the fame. I don't want people.
Forget this world and all the things in it. I ain't with it.
You know why I say that? Look at and I know we're going a little over our time right now. But I'm going to say this. Look at Michael Jackson.
Do I have to?
Well, I mean, look at don't look at him. Look at how he was treated.
Right.
I'm not talking about just the court.
I'm talking about for being famous or for being rich?
No, for being famous. Well, we can do it both ways, right? Look at what he couldn't go to the store to buy a pack of gum without being mobbed. Right. He couldn't go to back then Radio Shack if he wanted to buy a new CD player.
But that wasn't because he was famous. That was because he was rich.
No, it was because none of them asked him from. Well, I'm sure some people asked for money.
It's because he was rich.
No.
Let me tell you my explanation for that.
Well, let me first say this.
All right, go ahead.
If Michael Jackson was famous above being rich, right? There's theories that he was broke when he died, but who at that point, who cares, really? When he just steps outside and there's 1,000 cameras snapping just because he stepped outside, like that's not because he's rich. That's because people want his picture, right? You can be rich and people still want to tear you down, but if you're famous, you're more easily teared down because all it takes is one bad press or one bad headline, and that whole empire of fame can become crumbling down. You know what I mean?
It could, but it doesn't necessarily have to be.
I'm just saying. I'm just like I would want Michael Jackson money. I would never want Michael Jackson fame, ever. I would never wish that upon anybody.
See, this is why I said they like that.
However, okay, well, I don't want to cut you off, but however, with his fame, he was able to accomplish a lot more than if he was just an unknown rich person.
Right.
So I'll give you that. Like, I completely agree with that. However, I still say that I would much rather have Michael Jackson fortune than Michael Jackson fame any day. I'll take that any day.
Well, yeah, on that, in that case, absolutely.
Yeah.
But Michael also wasn't allowed to use his platform in any other way other than what they said he can use it for. Like he's never been.
Yeah, but that's based off his fame.
Well, but his fame and all that comes from. It's tied in when you get to that level. I believe they're tied in together. Fame and money are tied in together because think about like.
Well, that's the music industry, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Think about Tito, man. Like
Tito's not Michael Jackson.
But what I'm saying, but he's also not rich. Like.
We're talking Thriller money.
He's famous.
Tito ain't got no part of Thriller money.
But that's Thriller money. That's money.
Yeah,
that's what made him famous. You know what I'm saying?
Michael Jackson was famous long before Thriller.
But it ties in. The more money he made, the more famous he was. You know what I'm saying? So like Tito, when he was with the Jackson 5, he was famous and rich.
I don't.
And they mobbed him. But
Tito?
All of them.
Okay,
all of them.
You're talking about before when they were Jackson 5.
When they were Jackson 5,
right,
and they were all together.
Yeah.
And they was making mad money, right? They were all getting mobbed.
Chief, nobody says mad money anymore.
They're just making stupid money, son.
Buku bucks.
Buku bankrolls. You know what I'm saying?
Stacks on
stacks on racks on racks.
They call it guap now.
Yeah, moolah.
Is it guap?
It's been guap. You know what I'm saying? Ducats. You know what I'm saying? All that. So when they was making all that money, right, and they were famous, but they were becoming more and more rich, Tito was getting mobbed. But then when they decided to go separate ways, break up, Michael Jackson left or whatever the case.
They decided that. I think Michael just said, I'm out.
I gotta go.
Tito, you take over. No, Mike, I can't do
that. Yeah. Come on there, Michael.
Mike, come on, man. Just sing some songs.
Yeah. So after he left, Tito was still famous. He was
residual famous. He was like residual famous.
He was like a famous by association.
Hey, is that Tito? All right.
Is that Tito?
Anyway, what I was saying.
Oh, never mind. No, but then he got to a status to where he's still famous, but now he can go to mobile with his sandals on and no one's going to take a picture of him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So with Michael Jackson, like, I believe, like, if it ever got to where he just ran out of money or whatever, but see, there was so much invested in him, like from as soon as he left, that it just kind of, there was no way out for him. Like he had to die. Like he was going to die in the game.
Right.
He was way too invested and he owed too much money, for whatever reasons, but fame and money, they go hand in hand once you get to a certain level.
They can, yeah. I'm not saying they can. I'm just
right. So I'm saying
if you could separate them is what I'm saying.
Right. If you could separate them, then like I would take the fame, man, because my Lord Jesus, he was famous. He wasn't rich though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you trying to be Jesus? That's what we're saying here.
I'm just saying that's me. That's me. So
well, actually, if you want to be technical, he was infamous for the time. At the time, he was infamous.
Infamous. What does that mean?
Infamous.
What does that mean exactly, man?
Infamous is when you're famous for something hard. Like Hitler is infamous. He's known because no. I'm just giving you an example. No. I'm not comparing Hitler to Jesus. Hey, now come on, come
on, Michael.
Come on, Mike.
Come on, Mike.
No, I'm explaining I'm giving you an example what infamous means. Like if somebody like the shooter in Florida, he's infamous for what he did in the school. right? You're known. You're famously known for bad things, for a bad action or whatever.
You're just famous. You're just infamously known.
Right.
I have to look it up.
I just told you what it meant.
I don't trust you.
All right. No, if I'm saying if you could separate the two, I would much rather be rich than famous. I would much rather have $1 billion in my bank account and walk the streets and nobody know who I was than to walk the streets.
So you can't say Jesus was infamous.
Well, at the time he was known. That's why he was crucified.
According to society.
Well, now, okay, yeah. I mean, he did it. People. I'm not saying he was infamous. I'm just saying at the time he was looked at for doing something wrong, quote
right?
unquote.
He was looked at by the society,
right? But over time, obviously, he's turned the tables.
Because infamous, according to dictionary.com,
you're really looking up the definition.
Is deserving of or causing an evil reputation, shamefully malign, detestable, deprived of certain rights as a citizen.
Right,
yeah.
Infamous.
Right.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Almost word for word what I said.
Almost exactly. Can we get a playback?
No.
No? Not there yet?
Not even.
Okay. Well.
It's all there.
It's all there. We know what it said.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I get it. You'd much rather have influence. And it would probably most likely be a positive influence.
You know why?
That could spread throughout the years.
That could spread throughout
that can go on forever. That's like
money. I just don't have the time for it.
You don't have time for money?
I don't have the time.
I don't know if we have enough time.
I don't know if we have enough time for the money.
I'll tell you, money. With all the money, you can make time.
Let me explain something to you. All those rich pharaohs in Egypt, right? That had all their little slaves bury their money with them when they died.
Yeah.
All that stuff's gone now. I went and looked at half of these guys' treasure down at the Whitty the other day. Yeah, good job, Tut.
Well, I'm not saying I'd bury myself with the money. I'm just saying I would much rather.
My point is, there's no U-Hauls following the funeral procession.
No, I get it. I heard
you can't do nothing with it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like now look, man.
You can do a lot of good with money.
I'm not stupid, bro. Like money definitely is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not stupid. I'm not just like out there like, come on, throw all your money away. Let's walk to the river. Like
you'd rather be Gandhi than the Pharaoh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not wrong. I'm not saying
but
wrong.
if I had the money too, then like I would.
But if I had the money,
but think about
I could be
this.
a Fed Gandhi.
Imagine where I would have been had I had $1 million when I was 17, or if I was 20.
Probably dead.
Or if I was 30.
Probably dead.
Just any age, like before this last year or two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it would be a situation, So some people just ain't meant to have money.
Yeah.
And some people aren't just meant to be famous because that changes you too. Uh-huh. Like we definitely got to do a part 2 of this because I definitely want to get into talking about, celebrities who died at a young age and, the celebrities that all the celebrities that died at the age of 27 specifically.
Yeah, there's a whole group of them.
A whole group of them,
You said that.
And it trips me out. Like, I'm just going to talk on one, like Pac, right? Tupac. He died, he was 25, bro.
Yeah.
And like, wow, and you can tell.
Or did he?
Exactly. Don Illuminati. What's that guy's name? Anyway, so being at that age, you can hear him going between wanting to be an activist and wanting to be, hood. You know what I'm saying? Because he has some song. He's like, I got this thug life painted on my chest and all that other stuff. He started talking about females and calling them the B word and all that,
Right.
And in other words, he's like, we got to treat our women, got to teach our women, got to reach our women.
I get around.
And Dear Mama and all this other stuff. So he goes between being prolific and influential and positive to being thugged out because of the realities of what he was seeing. You know what I'm saying? So what Pac was having a problem with was he was having a problem explaining like the spirits that he was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And he was coming at it from his observation, from his experience. That's just what he just thought, how he did it. But there's a lot of artists who, like Pac said, he never used to be in fights and shoot guns and all that stuff until he got famous.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until he got rich that he started rapping about that type of stuff. Because before he was all about the party, the dancing, and like some Black Panther type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we definitely need to start talking on our next one about the influence that money has for celebrities, or the influence that fame has for celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. We touched on the difference between fame and fortune, and we shared what we would like to have. We can choose one or the other. I said I'd go for the money. He said, Chief said he would go for the fame in order to. I mean, I'm not saying neither of us are right, neither of us are wrong. That's just what we would choose to do. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up with that.
But I'm right.
We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Again, you can find if you want to hear more of us, you can find us on Spreaker. You can find us on iTunes, Facebook, Twitter. What else?
Are we on YouTube yet?
Yeah, we're on YouTube. We got a couple videos out on YouTube. We got some snippets.
Can we tweet? Do we tweet yet?
Yeah, we're on Twitter.
We're on Twitter.
I already said that.
I didn't know.
All right. Well, we're on Twitter.
Yeah.
You can. We have on Facebook. We have a couple of videos that has little excerpts from our previous episodes. They're they range from like a minute to 2.5 minutes, maybe some. I think one of them is like 3 minutes long. If you want to get like a preview of what that episode is about, we're gonna keep doing that. Again, in the future, we're gonna start doing video. We're gonna do live feeds from YouTube, maybe a couple live feeds on Facebook, just to keep y'all up to date with what's going on.
Some interviews.
Yeah, we got an interview coming up with a college grad. I think she has a master's degree. Miss Danny Petard, high school friend of ours, and she has her own business. She has she got so much crap. Not crap. I mean, she has so much. She's gonna slap me when she hears me say that. No, she's I think she's like a fitness model now or something like that, where she's or a bodybuilder or something. I don't know. She's trying to attack the world or something. But anyway,
I also got the confirmation from James Davison.
James Davison.
Yeah, another military veteran.
There we go.
Also a business owner and entrepreneur. He also he's the one who's also my stylist. Like the only dude I let cut my beard.
Okay.
You know.
Oh, from In the Cut?
No. He's at I think he's at another place.
Okay, that's cool. Let's bring him. Let's get him on here. We'll talk about business and give people a good idea of how they can start and what they need to be focused on when they start a new business. All right, I am Old Mixhead.
I'm your boy Chief.
And we are the Will Boys Podcast. We'll see everybody next time.
Yay.